And I came on your show, the Fits on Sports podcast, right before the Super Bowl, and I told you, just
I
like
was with you.
just like
Yeah.
I told every single freaking person in the world, my Philadelphia Eagles were going to win
Yep.
Super
I
Bowl
called it
59,
too. Josh did
which
not do so, and he
which
will suffer the
occurred, by
consequences.
the way, for the record, tomorrow at the time of this recording. We're recording on March 8th. Tomorrow, March 9th, is the 4-week month anniversary of the complete, what I like to call 40-6 beatdown. Who cares about 40-22? It was really 40-6 beatdown. The Philadelphia Eagles of the Kansas City Chiefs. Fitz, here at Brandon's World, we are now officially the home of the Super Bowl 59 world champion Philadelphia Eagles. So, because of that, I want to give you your thoughts, your takeaways of the game.
Uh, I was shocked that they were stampeding right out of the gate. I thought it was going to be a little bit defensive first, as I said on Voltage. I had the Eagles winning. I was the one who had the Eagles winning with you, but I did not think it was going to be that much of a curb stomping early. Like I thought we were going to get that maybe towards later in the game, but holy crap. I mean, that was like let's just put it this way. America outside of those two fan bases were basically hate watching.
And I didn't
And they were
understand it
given
because
their
they were
hate
the two
watch
best teams in
gold.
football all year long. I didn't understand the hate behind it.
It's for the Chiefs. It's the hating on the Chiefs part of it. Mainly
Okay.
because they've become insufferable as a new evil empire.
So, by the way, for the record, I didn't know if I told you this or not, but every single Brandon's World podcast from here until the start of the NFL season, we'll start with the Fly Eagles Fly fight song because we are now the home of the Super Bowl 59 world
Fly,
champion
Eagles, fly.
on the road to victory. By the way, I said this. So when we both started at Plexual Radio, that September, the Eagles had won the Super Bowl the prior February. And I
I
was,
actually wasn't on my first semester overall. I was on from 2 through 8. I didn't make the cut my first semester, if you don't
and
remember.
I did not make the cut my first year. So when I came on was September 2018.
Oh,
And
crap. I forgot
So
about
I
that.
came on September 2018. So the Eagles had won the Super Bowl the prior February, but because I was such a new show, I did not have the glory to bask in the fact that my team was a Super Bowl champion. Now that I've been doing this show and exclusively on my own as a podcast in collaboration with the one and only Voltage Live, we've been doing it as a podcast full time since September 2021. We have aired full episodes, excuse me, every Tuesday and Thursday since 2023. So this has really been now the Brandon's World Boo celebration. We're on a year-long off-season celebration of the Philadelphia Eagles as Super Bowl
Remember, the
champions.
trophy only protects you so long and where things stand.
And so, with that in mind, though, we're going to transition now to the off-season. And Sean, I feel bad for you. Um, I feel bad for you because you are a fan of a football team
Yeah, you don't need
that
to even mention it. I'm just going to cut you off right there,
that
Miles Garrett. I'm in the camp of if you want to trade him after June 1st, all right. And here's why.
oh, I
I
disagree
am
with you.
so ticked off at the Browns. And I wrote a column on Voltage Live. You edited that one, and also one that we hyperlinked in there that you edited on Medium in November 2022. I It's just a frustrating experience. And look, Garrett's 29. He signed that contract. I get it. People are like, oh, he signed it. It's like, well, one, you had Baker Mayfield when he signed that. Number one, you had your quarterback. You didn't need a trade for Watson at all. Number two, Garrett's only had 2 winning seasons, and he's one of the last 3 players left on the roster from that 0-16 season. The other two, Joel Bitonio, I'm shocked he didn't retire, and David Njoku. I think Garrett's earned the right. And I get it. I get that people are frustrated with how he's running out. But I think, based off of what I'm trying to remember, Aditi, I think it was, long A last
Adi
name.
Kikabawa.
Yeah. Like she posted something yesterday, I believe it was, or Thursday. And I read that. And just basically, there have been issues that have been festering for a while. And Garrett was calling out offensive teammates and other teammates
Which,
for
by the
lack
way,
of
is a
effort last
shot at
year.
Stefanski, in my opinion, that no one wants to talk about. If Stefanski doesn't have these guys ready to play, why is he still the coach?
I think it was because Watson hamstrung them, and also Andrew Barry.
Yes,
Andrew
but the
Barry, you know
players
my feelings
basically
on that.
quit. And I know and I agree with you on the Andrew Berry thing.
Yeah.
And,
And
and,
I get it.
and
It's an unpopular opinion that I have. And even my dad is not happy with the opinion I have. That's how much I am
which opinion? On the Garrett opinion, you mean?
Garrett. Garrett,
So
yeah.
so
It's
my
like, here's the
opinion
thing. Like,
is
I don't want him to waste his career like Joe Thomas. Do I selfishly want Garrett to stay? Yes. Do I think he has earned the right to be traded and ask for that as a future Hall of Famer? Yes. Does that mean the Browns have to trade him right now? No.
okay. So Fitz,
So
so let me say this. Let me throw this at you. If you trade him post draft, you're not going to get the value for him that you would at the draft.
yeah, but the salary
You
cap is the issue here. That's
you
why
need
you
to
can't
get
trade him
at
pre
least
draft.
two first round picks for Miles Garrett, which you're going to only get if you trade him about at the draft. I already
At the
told you.
draft, it's maybe, but I think if they're going to do a deal, they're
No,
going to do it
I
after.
I already told you what I would do, what my dream is. It's probably not going to
Yeah,
happen.
I know. It's
I
going to come back
I
down to the Commanders or Eagles. I'm
I
calling it right
already
now.
have it
Fisher
lined
Thomas.
up. It's two first round picks and the sign and trade with Josh Sweat. You guys get Josh Sweat. We'll take
Ooh,
95.
I like
It's
that.
two first round picks at the draft. We could do it tomorrow. I've already made the call 3 weeks ago. I give you Josh Sweat and two firsts, our first this year, which will be 32, and next year. You give us Miles Garrett. We'll pay the salary. You make the deal.
But the dead cap money, that's the pro. That's,
But
Brandon, like,
here's
I
the
want to just,
Fitz,
let me,
here's
no,
the
no,
thing
no. I'm not
from a
arguing
team
against you.
perspective.
I actually have a point I want to
No,
bring up.
no, here's
I
the
don't
thing.
understand why dead cap goes onto a team's salary cap when you're trading away the player. That's what I've never
Okay,
understood.
I'm not a cap guru. I know this. The Browns, and I did an interview with Austin Arnold actually right before this interview, even though it aired on Tuesday. We're doing back-to-back interviews. So this is what I brought up to him, right? So at the time of this recording on March 8th, yesterday, the Raiders traded for Geno Smith. And I know you have strong opinions on it. Here's the thing, right? So I think they're going to use him as a bridge. I think the Raiders want to move up to come get Shador Sanders. If I'm the Browns, let me throw this out there without trading Miles Garrett involved. What if you move back? Because I don't think New England is going to move up. I don't think the Giants are moving up. I don't think Jacksonville's moving up.
I
What
think the
if
Giants
you?
might move to number one. That might be the
No,
one.
no, no. The Titans are taking Cam Ward. I'm
Mm.
sorry. The Titans are taking Cam Ward. I already think it's locked in. I think everything else is smokescreen. I think there's a scenario. I'm not saying I would do it, but I think there's a scenario where if you're the Browns, you can talk yourself into let's move back from 2 to 6. Let's pick up an extra third round pick. You're not going to probably draft into a Carter at that point, but what you could get is the best left tackle on the board, which is an absolute need because Jedrick Wills is he's done. He can't block anybody. Okay, I'm sorry. The end of story. You need to rebuild your offensive line. I also think you probably need to move on from Jack Conklin at right tackle. I think the entire O line needs a rebuild. I think you can move back. I think you could pick up an extra pick, and this draft is a very defensive end heavy draft. I think you can get a valuable defensive end in the second or third round and start building out your roster that way. I don't think the quarterback is the right move at 2, whether it's Shador or whoever. I do think you either go with a Bill Carter number 2 or you move back.
If you move back, I would still like to. I think here's the thing. I think the Browns' offensive line was in part due to the coaching change. I think if you get someone more Bill Callahan-esque scheme like in there and go back to the roots, I think the O line will improve. I'm not
Well,
saying it's going to be as elite as in the past,
I think they
but
need two new
I
tackles. I mean, that's my take on it.
I think at least one, and I think they'll grab another one in free agency. I think that's where they're going to get one of
Well,
them.
that's fine. To me, you need to upgrade
Yeah.
Conklin
But
and
if
Wills.
I would prefer to take Abdul Carter or heck, maybe even Travis Hunter.
No,
Carter is more of my favorite.
see,
Carter is the guy who I'm stuck on.
this is why I'm against Travis Hunter. So
Mhm.
I don't see the value in Travis Hunter. Here's why.
Hmm.
I don't think he's a wide receiver in the NFL. I
You
think
don't think
he's
he's
a
a cornerback either?
I think he's a corner. I think he's a
Hmm.
corner. And I don't think corners are worth top 3 picks. I don't even know if corners are worth top 5 picks.
I
I
think it
don't
depends
think.
on who it is,
Well,
though.
here's the thing. Who has been the top corner that has been drafted that high that has changed the team? Not Patrick Surtain,
Stingley,
not Sauce Gardner, not
Stingley.
Derek Stingley Jr. He has not changed the Texans defense. He has
Yeah,
not
they
from
they they went from like bottom of the league to
Will
top.
Anderson changed their defense more than Derek Stingley Jr. did. They were bad until they got CJ Stroud and Will Anderson. That changed their defense more than Stingley did because pass rusher matters more than corner. Now,
Yeah.
I
All
think
right. Yeah.
receiver matters more than corner, but again, I don't know Travis Hunter. If he's a receiver, he's a slot receiver.
Yeah.
I don't.
Plus, we don't know exactly how the Browns view him, but
So
like
to
I'm just saying I personally would be okay with Hunter, but I want Abdul Carter. I keep going back to that Notre Dame game clip. I'm like, I see that. I want
I
him. I
yeah,
see more freak than Garrett.
yeah, I don't see the value in Travis Hunter, even for like a New England. Like
Hmm.
Jacksonville will probably take him, is my guess, at
Yeah.
5. Now, here's
Yeah.
the other thing.
Yeah. The
With
Raiders thing. That's why I want to make sure I
okay,
circle back to
okay.
because we got on
So
a tangent.
so
If the
okay.
Browns trade down with the Raiders, number one, if that means you don't take Shador Sanders, thank God. Because here's what I see. I see Shador Sanders as a round 2 talent. I don't
Yeah,
think he's round 1. I'm not saying he's
I
a bust.
disagree. I think
I don't see
every
Shador Sanders as a round 1 talent at all.
I
I think he's
disagree.
in the same class as honestly. Like, I don't think he's in the same class as even Cam Ward. I think he's just. I don't want to say it's all on Dion
I
in
think
that
he's a mid
recognition.
first round talent, but I don't think he's a
At
second
best,
round talent.
at best, I think he's late first round talent. At best, really. Shador Sanders is a guy who, trust me when I say this, I'm getting Johnny Manziel vibes. I am getting, not for character, but I'm getting Johnny Manziel vibes, and you know my gut punch will feel that right away.
Hey,
I'm
listen,
calling it right now.
I was the one when we were in the draft room in 2018. Did I not say Josh Allen was the best quarterback in that draft? I would.
Remember, the Bills really reworked his mechanics. I
Okay,
will always, that
but
was,
I can see these guys. I mean, I'm sorry. I have a pretty
Mayfield
good
was the
track
best
record.
at the time
No, he wasn't.
coming
Josh
in.
Allen was the best of the time. I'm sorry, he
The
was. You
Browns
could
would have
see it
ruined
from a
him,
mile
dude.
away. Well, yeah,
I've told you the
with
Browns would
Hugh
have ruined
Jackson,
him.
probably. But listen,
Yeah,
um,
Lamar's up. Lamar was always going to be a scheme fit. That's why I
yeah.
never considered him for the Browns at number 1, obviously.
So I don't know. Like I think Vegas they're gonna try to have Gino as a bridge and try to go get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Now
I told you they should have signed Darnold in free agency a
now
little
that
while
now
back.
here's the thing. I want to talk about Sam Darnold. Okay, I'm not. I was never the biggest fan of Sam Darnold. The great, maybe the best known sports radio host in the country, Colin Cowherd, always called Sam Darnold the chunky coastal kid. It reminded me he basically had a big arm, but he had a whip of a release. He threw a lot of
Hmm.
turnovers. He basically, I'm sorry, I'm not being racist. He was the white Jameis Winston to me. So, with that being said, when I look at Darnold and he went to Minnesota, I said Sam Darnold is going to have a career year because he had Justin Jefferson, because he had Jordan Addison, he had Aaron Jones, he had Kevin O'Connell, he had DJ Hawkinson, he had all those weapons. If he goes to Seattle, especially if they don't have DK Metcalf, or he goes to Vegas, Sam Darnold will turn back into the Panthers and jet Sam Darnold.
I
Sam
thought
Darnold is
Vegas was
not.
going to be the spot where he could land with Carroll, and then he has a running back. Not a running back. He's got Bowers, he's got Myers, and then he would
He
have
does, but what's their offensive line? And by the way, his offensive coordinator is Chip Kelly, who didn't really work in the NFL. I know
well, as a head
firsthand.
coach, right? Just as a head coach.
Yes,
You know,
but how do we know Chip's going to be a good offensive coordinator? And that division with Kansas City, the Chargers, and Denver,
damn, you are spicy this morning or this afternoon, rather.
be because the Raiders, and the Raiders, I think have more of a plan than Seattle. Seattle's making a lateral move, going from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold makes absolutely no
Well,
sense.
to me, I think they finally realized what I realized.
So
Geno
you're going to
Smith
pay
is the guy.
Sam
Hold on, hold on,
Darnold
hold on, hold on, hold on,
$45 million
hold
a
on,
year?
hold on, my friend. Calm down, please. Take a breath.
Hey,
Please take a
you
breath.
haven't told me to calm down the one. Hey, remember this is my show on the final boss. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
I don't want to have to talk. Like Geno Smith, I've said is just like the god basically false hope for Seattle right now. I think they realize that yeah, we're not going to get over the hump with Geno. and it's best to cut our losses now and try to figure things out. I know it doesn't make sense from a competitive standpoint, but it makes the most sense from a practicality standpoint that they
It
realize
does
that
if you're
now
just
and
going
didn't
to
try to
take
kick
the
the can
year.
down the road.
I don't understand the Sam Darnold. So we're going to move off Geno. We're going to pay that money to Sam Darnold to the same quarterback.
I mean, I don't know where Darnold's going to go. I don't. I wish I knew.
Maybe,
I don't.
maybe Indianapolis. I mean, did they give up on Anthony? Because there's rumors out there that
I
they could go
have
after
no
Daniel
clue.
Jones. I mean, really? Daniel Jones, who, for the record, if he goes to Minnesota, he'll be great because he's got that offense. I mean, I think Daniel Jones could do what Sam Darnold did last year.
Uh,
But then it's like, if JJ McCarthy, is he not healthy? Like, that's what I don't understand because I like JJ McCarthy.
I honestly don't know. You'd want to talk to Quentin Griffin on that.
So you tell me, like this makes no sense to me. Why Minnesota's moving off Darnold for Daniel Jones? I guess it's a cheaper rate or whatever.
It could. I mean, they could still re-sign Darnold. We'll see. I don't know.
I would go with JJ McCarthy personally, but that's just me. So okay, let me throw this at you. So the Rams decided to re-up Matthew Stafford. Now I don't know if you know this or not, Fitz, but every February I play a game here on Brandon's World. It's called NFL QB Minute to Win It.
Well, we're in March now, so
Okay, no, you're right, but I did it last week. So here's the thing, Fitz. Are you a game show person?
depends on the game show.
Do you remember the old show Minute to Win It? It used to air
I
Tuesday nights
do.
on
It's been a
NBC, Guy
while.
Fieri.
Ooh.
So basically, they would have 60 seconds to complete tasks with the household items, right?
Mhm.
And there'd be a countdown clock, the game begins. So when I was still at Black Show Radio, my final semester when I was GM of the station,
Yeah, and I
your
was your
boss
sports
at the time,
director.
yes, you were. So I invented this game. And I think it's a game that nobody in the podcast space, nobody in the sports space, I at least have never seen anybody do it. It's called Minute to Win It QB version, where I have 60 seconds because, I rant and rave and talk all day long. So I condense myself to say I have 60 seconds to win it to determine where QB needy teams are going to go. Do they go after a free agent? Do they go in the draft? I talked about Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Sam Darnold, excuse me, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford. So it was a really fun game. I do it every year. My point on this is I had the Rams trading with the New York Giants, and I had the Rams going to number three and the Giants getting back Matthew Stafford. Obviously, the Rams decided in the other direction. They kept Stafford. So what the hell are the Giants going to do?
As long as Joe Schoen's in charge, I don't trust him. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
mean,
That building, they should have
they
fired Dable and Schoen way before now.
see. My biggest takeaway is Brian Dable got Daniel Jones to the playoffs. He can't be a bad coach.
He committed the sin of the timeouts of Hugh Jackson, even worse. He did that
Okay,
in year two.
I
That
know
dude, once you do that, that is literally death sentence.
you're still stuck on that the way I'm stuck on JB Bickerstaff being literally the worst head coach in the history of basketball. I don't give a damn what he's done with the Pistons. I whatever. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. Um, so like I don't know, right? Like the Giants, they have to win now. Like, do they go with Aaron Rodgers? Do they bring in Devontae Adams? Because I don't think they're going to select a young quarterback.
I mean, I think this is just going to be a year where the Giants are going to be tanking for Arch Manning. That's where I think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to
Well,
bring in
then
an upgrade.
everybody's getting fired.
Oh yeah, they are. Everyone's getting fired. 100%. I just don't think that there's anything that the Giants can do right now that could turn them into a playoff contender, even with Malik Neighbors. I don't see a move right now
Okay,
unless something comes way out of left field.
let me say this. Let me just put this to you on paper. Do the Giants have a good offensive line? I would say yes, they do. Do they have a great defensive line with Brian Burns, Dexter Warren, Kayvon Thibodeau? Yes, I would say they do. The foundation is there. They have a number one receiver already in Malik Neighbors. If you add Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams to that team, I think you can make an argument they're the third best team in the NFC East over Dallas.
Uh, I could see where you're coming at that. I'd have to give it more thought just because I
Like
hadn't.
I think they'd be a 7-8 win team. Their defense is pretty good. They can add another running back. Tracy was serviceable for them last year, even after the Saquon disaster. Like I think they're gonna do something. Joe Shane and Brian Dable are not gonna let themselves get fired.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't know with the Giants. Like they're the one team in that division where it's like number I just don't know what the frick they're doing. I don't. It doesn't I don't know what direction they want to go in. We're going to find out probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday what the frick they're going to do because
Yeah.
I'm more going to they're going to be intriguing.
So for the record, at the time of this recording, we are recording on March 8th, 2025, just to let everybody know. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.